What's up, y'all? Goofy Rexy here. Hope everybody is doing well, and wanted to do an updated list today here on the top 10 most valuable teams in Marvel Strike Force. So we usually like to do this every couple patches or so, or every patch, where we kind of zone in and talk about the most important teams for you to put your resources there, that you should be prioritizing your resources for here in Marvel Strike Force. Now, not the only teams that you're going to be investing into, but who are the most valuable teams that you should invest to for different game modes, whether it's arena, doing your raid content, teams that are versatile to be used in multiple game modes here. So we're going to be going through that list here today. Hopefully this is helpful. I know that a lot of people usually typically tend to watch this and find a lot of value in it, so I really enjoy doing them because it also does help me from a planning perspective, right? Like if you're a planner and you want to figure out what to do with your roster, like I am, then this is usually a good way to kind of zone in on that here. So we're gonna dive into this list and talk about it. The first team on this list, some of these teams are gonna be obvious, right? Is going to be the Darkhold team. Now, for obvious reason, the Darkhold team is an arena team, so arena is probably one of the most important game modes, right, in Marvel Strike Force. They are a premier arena team. They're also a team that can be used in a variety of game modes, so like Cosmic Crucible, Alliance War. They have some great success in the Doom raids as well, so usually swapping out Scarlet Witch and then throwing in Dormammu, they become a phenomenal Mystic Doom raid team. So very good team that you can use there as well. Agatha and Morgan, Doctor Strange, Heartless are characters that I've found some success with, or really good success using them also in Dark Dimension. So there's multifaceted characters that you can use there. The main issue, of course, though, is that the characters aren't farmable, right? So Doctor Strange, Heartless, Agatha, Wong, these characters aren't farmable. It's actually funnier. It's easier to get shards for a legendary like Morgan Le Fay than it is to get shards for Agatha, Strange, or Wong there. It's actually kind of very interesting when you think about it. But yeah, I mean, very good team. I think that you're definitely going to want to invest into them. You're also going to need them as well for your saga in the future. You need them to unlock Apocalypse. So of course, this team definitely does show up on this list. Now, next team for me is a two-person team that we're going to be talking about again here, which is the Eternals. It's kind of funny, man. Like, despite the three horsemen now being available, like Red Hulk, Rogue, and Morgan Le Fay, they're still an arena meta offensive team, right? So there's still a team, there's still these two characters that can be used with those hybrids to make sure that you're able to beat your Dormhold teams, to beat your Red Hulk, three horsemen teams. They're very strong. A lot of players are still using them in the Mystic Doom raids too, right? So instead of using like a full Dormhold team, what players are using is like Eternals with Deathpool, Dormammu, and then Morgan. A lot of players find it, they said that they like it better than using a Dormhold team, which I can understand because, of course, Icarus and Cersei being able to kind of blow up on turn will help to blow up a team on turn one, makes the nodes go by a lot faster, right? So I can definitely understand that Dormhold, you kind of got to play, it's a slower play. So I do understand that if you want to do things a little bit quicker and faster here, then Icarus and Cersei with that comp that I just mentioned is actually really still good. But they're also a top tier war option as well, right? Against mainly your Heroes Guardian team now. They're great in Dark Dimension. They're phenomenal for the Cosmic section in Dark Dimension. But once again, the same main issue, right? Like, they're not farmable. They're not farmable characters. They've been out since was it October or November now? Whenever the movie came out last year. They still are not farmable right now, and that really does hurt a lot of players because they're also really good for some of these Scourge events too, right? So it'd be really nice to be able to get these characters to be farmable at least sometime soon. All right, the next team I want to talk about here is the Secret Avengers. They're still definitely on this list for me. Usually for your Doom raids, I'm gonna put in Kestrel and Shang-Chi here because that's where a lot of people use with this team, mainly of course for your Doom raids, but even in Cosmic Crucible, they're used there as well. But they're one of the best, in my opinion, all around teams in the game. Still your preferred team for your Doom 3 raids, although at higher difficulties, so like difficulty 4, 3, and 4, they're starting to kind of get a little outclassed there. But I think that has a lot to do with just how horrible the RNG is in the Doom 3 raids. But can get really dicey if you get morbed. If Morbius just kind of goes off in that second node, I mean, you can lose like 2 characters out of the gate It's just Doom 3 raids are insane. But yeah, they're still a very good all-around team. Cosmic Crucible as well. I'm usually hybrid in them. Like, I'll show you one of the teams that I use on offense for Cosmic Crucible with this team here. So usually I use this against anything that's in room 4 in Cosmic Crucible offensively wise. I'll use them. So I'll use Maria. I'll throw in Captain America Sam, Shuri, Shang-Chi, and then Zemo. So I kind of want to build up Killmonger to be able to use him there, but and of course, like you can see, like I have Sharon on a team right now that I use against Gamma, right up top here with the Eternals. So a lot of these characters great on their team together, but then even plug and play. I usually use this team against a Gamma team with Loki, Eternals, Emma. Works pretty well up against Gamma as well. I've seen some Gamma Dormammu teams, not Dormammu, Gamma Doom teams. So therefore I've been able to use that comp to beat them. So very good team here. A lot of the characters are also still good for Dark Dimension. So a lot of value that you're going to be able to find with this team. If they get replaced later on, we'll make an updated list to this, but as of it stands right now, they're pretty solid and pretty dominant. The next team here to take a look at are the Web Warriors. This one, of course, a lot of our raid teams, right? We're going to talk about those, and we'll kind of segue a little bit later on at some other teams here, but I think one of the most fun teams to play with in Marvel Strike Force right now, mainly a raid team, although they are used on defense in Alliance War and also on defense in Cosmic Crucible. Other players now are taking out Punk and taking out maybe Scarlet Spider here and using them with Spider-Man 2099 and then using them with Spider-Weaver. I currently have this team right now sitting on defense in Cosmic Crucible with Symbiote Spider-Man and Spider-Weaver. I took out Scarlet Spider and Spider-Punk as well. It works pretty well on defense. I think eventually, though, for Cosmic Crucible, it's going to be Tangled Web with a full Tangled Web team with probably Kingpin or maybe Green Goblin or maybe Symbiote Spider-Man again, whatever, right? But yeah, they're still one of the better teams in the game. I think they're definitely phenomenal in the Doom raids. For Doom 3 raids, I mean, once again, RNG hell, but they are your best team that you can use there for those Doom 3 raids. So for that reason, because Doom raids are so important, they're definitely going to show up on this list. And some of the characters, though, can still also be used for your Dark Dimension nodes, right? So obviously, as you can see, I use Ghost Spider, I use Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider for my Dark Dimension nodes. No regrets there. They were actually really good. I think they're probably one of the better options that you have available to use it, like Shang-Chi and Squirrel Girl. That's probably a team that I would recommend here. These 3 characters that I already have at G16, Squirrel Girl and Shang-Chi are probably your best characters for DD5 City. I think that makes the most sense from an investment perspective. Of course, maybe you can throw in She-Hulk, but she's really expensive. But yeah, very good team in my opinion. They definitely show up on this list. Next team for me are the Bionic Avengers. I'm doing things wrong. I'm doing that wrong there. Let's just jump over to Bionic Avengers and talk about them. Yeah, so the next team is Bionic Avengers here. Obviously, they're a premier tech Doom Raid team, so they definitely are showing up on this list. I hate the fact, though, that Hulkbuster's event was so terrible. A lot of players are probably not even really experiencing the full greatness, right, that is the Bionic Avengers, because maybe they don't have Hulkbuster on the team, or maybe Deathlock was tough to unlock. Vision was fairly easy because she was an event campaign, but once you get this team fully together here, they're pretty strong, right? They're very good in a lot of variety of game modes, like Alliance War offense. They're pretty good against, the Web Warriors. They're good against some of the Uncanny teams that you maybe see on defense. They're good against Uncanny teams in Cosmic Crucible. They're good against the Web Warriors team in Cosmic Crucible. Even with Spider-Weaver on that team, they're still very good there as well. So multifaceted team. We got to play around with them a little bit, right, for the War Scourge event, where you had your Avengers nodes 3 and node 4. They did well in nodes 3. Node 4, they weren't that great once you started piling on those scourges. They kind of didn't really do that well. However, I do think that for the Death Scourge, which you're going to probably most likely be the main team for the Death Scourge, I think that they're going to be okay there. I think that the nodes will probably translate to or be built to where they can actually do decently well, similar to how Hero as Guardians did really well as the main team for War Scourge. I'm suspecting that the same thing will probably happen as well for Bionic Avengers, and it will probably punish players who don't build up their Bionic Avengers. My hope, though, is that Hulkbuster and Deathlock at least some shards for those characters become a little bit more available, so players can actually land and then do well there. But yeah, very good team. Some of these characters too can also be plug and played for some other content as well. So yeah, like this team definitely are one of the top teams that you should invest into. All right, next team on this list for me is another Scourge team. Although Bionic Avengers are a raid team that also can be used in Scourge, so it's a little bit different there. But this one is another Scourge team here, the Young Avengers, right? I love the Young Avengers. My favorite sort of faction in the Marvel period. Like, I love the Young Avengers. A lot of you guys know that, but in Marvel Strike Force, they are also one of the better overall teams that you can use in a lot of different game modes as well. Now, for Famine Scourge, that's the reason why they're on this list. They help you to get a legendary character, right? That's the real reason why they're on this list here, why it makes sense for you to invest into this team. They also have made a lot of these characters a lot more available to players as well, and even easier for earlier players to also access too. So Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, Chavez, Miles, these were characters that were easier for earlier players to be able to get anyways, but now they've made Kate Bishop available in, I think she's in the Mystic Node 3-9, which I have highlighted, and I'm farming every single day to be able to get her to 6 stars. And then Echo is now available in the War Store, so it's easier access for players to be able to get these characters now and actually build them up. But yeah, they're phenomenal. They're your best team for your Famine Scourge for nodes 5 and then also node 10. If you're looking at the War Scourge event too, they were the far superior team in regards to as you compare them to Bionic Avengers, right? For the War Scourge event, where nodes 3 and node 4, Young Avengers were really good in node 4 against that Gamma team, right? So very, very, very good. And also, Young Avengers, really, really good Cosmic Crucible team, can also beat the Gamma team as well in Cosmic Crucible too. So it is just a very good multifaceted team. Great in CC, as I said. They're great, obviously, on war defense. That's what they were created for. They're great in things like Avengers Tower. There's early enough access for newer players to some of these characters. And Squirrel Girl is amazing, absolutely amazing. Dark Dimension character that I use. No regrets there. All right, the next team I wanted to talk about is another Scourge team. We're kind of keeping the trend going here. And that's the Hero Asgardian team. And I'm not like, it's kind of funny that I'm putting this team on this list, because if you had asked me maybe 2 weeks ago prior to the War Scourge event, I was very met on this team. Oh my goodness, I can get Mighty Thor now to 6 stars, so let's upgrade her now. But no, I was really sort of down on this team. I didn't really think that they were that great, but using them in the War Scourge event, they were definitely by far the best team to use for nodes 5 and node 10 in the War Scourge event. They were so good. Thor, it could have been because I have a 7 red star Thor. Thor is also my favorite character in Marvel, so very happy I got 7 red stars on him. All right, enough about me, right? But no, seriously, I really enjoyed using them. Thor was crazy because of the times he would proc and get his charges up pretty fast. He was able to kind of go off. He was the reason, in my opinion, why I think nodes 5 and node 10 went as smoothly as they did, because of the constant proc. Same thing with Mighty Thor as well. She was really strong too as a character. So in a lot of ways, although they're prepared, they're created for war defense, and really outside of war defense, other than Scourge, they really are kind of a lackluster team, because they help you to get a legendary horseman, which is Red Hulk. I got to put them on this list as one of the most valuable teams to invest into here in Marvel Strike Force. All right, next team on this list for me is some teams that are kind of obvious that you're going to just have to build anyways, but we'll still talk about them really briefly. Unlimited X-Men. So we're actually approaching very quickly right now the Famine Scourge event, where I'm suspecting that we're probably going to get information on that this upcoming Friday in regards to like the Famine Scourge event coming back around. And then after that is going to be the Famine Saga, right? Which you're going to need your Unlimited X-Men team. That's the reason why you see me have these 3 characters favorited here. I am trying to boost them up to level 85 and gear tier 16 as quickly as I possibly can in preparation for the Famine Scourge event, but a Famine Saga event, or Famine Saga. But then also as well, they're actually a very good mutant team for your Famine Scourge event. So if you're kind of wondering like, hey, what do I use for those mutant nodes in the Famine Scourge event? Rogue, the Unlimited X-Men team is actually pretty good if you've already unlocked Rogue. But apart from that, I mean, other than their game mode, Cosmic Crucible, where they are amazing, they're so annoying, but they're amazing in that game mode. They really don't do that much outside of it, but because you do need them for some really important content, you need them to be able to eventually unlock Apocalypse, you kind of have to throw this team in there as one of the most valuable teams to build out. In the same breath, the same thing can be said here about the Gamma team, right? Like, that's the next thing that we're going to talk about here on this list is our Gamma team. And I do think that the Gamma team is actually a better overall team than the Rogue, the Unlimited X-Men team, in my opinion. I feel that there's going to be better uses. They're great on Alliance War offense. They're also great on Alliance War defense too, which is kind of annoying because that creates another dynamic for people to use. But they're also good in Cosmic Crucible. Not great in raids. We tried it and tested them out in raids here. They're not great in raids. It could also be because I have some underpowered characters here. I'm waiting. Braun is going to be available soon in the Elite store so that you can actually get some red stars on them there. So I'm going to be looking to get my 4th red, but some of you guys probably only got 3 yellow on bronze, so that probably doesn't matter for you, right? Man, I really wish that they would make these events better, in my opinion. But apart from that, I mean, Red Hulk is very good actually on arena offense, right? So very good plug and play character on arena offense there that you can use as a part of a hybrid. On defense, I'll be honest with you, Red Hulk is actually very easy to beat on defense. Doesn't really survive that much. He can take a lot of hits. He doesn't really survive the hits as well as Morgan Le Fay would or even Rogue would. You can kind of bypass him. He's also not working correctly too. Like, he's getting charges when he's not supposed to be getting charges. His ultimate right now, like the battlefield effect, it's based on the damage of the enemy team, not his actual damage. So a lot of things broken with Red Hulk right now, so he needs to be fixed in order for him to be able to actually work correctly. And then, like in the arena, like the ultimate, I don't really see that that's going to be happening quite often because he's broken right now, so it's happening often. But I don't think it's going to be happening often in the future. You get my point. I'm not really explaining it very well, but he's broken. He's not working correctly. So, but yeah, I mean, you're going to need this team in order to be able to unlock Apocalypse. So they're going to show up on this list. I think that they're a better overall team than the Famine Scourge team. And I think that a lot of players will get a lot more satisfaction out of using this team than probably maybe even the Unlimited X-Men. All right, and then reluctantly, I'm putting this team on the list because it's like until we get confirmation of them not being needed, we kind of have to put them there, right? And that's the Astonishing X-Men team. They are the best mutant raid team right now for your Doom raids, your Doom 3 raids. A lot of players are starting to use some combos that work for some of these other nodes, like throwing in Rogue, throwing in Gambit, Omega Red, Emma for some of these other nodes here. The rumor right now, though, is that there is going to be a new mutant raid team coming, which is going to have the Death Horseman, which is going to be Archangel, alongside another sort of mutant characters that are going to be a part of his team. So right now, this team is like with a big asterisk, but at the current moment, if you're doing your Doom 3 raids and you have to do your mutant nodes, this is your best team. Now, if you have an agreement with your alliance where, hey, don't build yet, wait until the rumor has been confirmed or disconfirmed, or not the right word, but you get my point, then sure, I can completely understand why you probably want to hold off on building this team. So in my personal opinion, I have to put them on this list because they are technically one of the most valuable teams, because you do need them for 2 or 3 raids. So therefore they are here. Now that concludes the list, but there are some other honorable mentions that I wanted to talk about as well here. So like your Infinity Watch team, as you can see, they're not part of my top 10, but I do think that for endgame players, if you're doing Cosmic Crucible, which for me, Cosmic Crucible is like the second most important game mode in Marvel Strike Force right now. Apart from like Arena, there's like Arena, Cosmic Crucible, raids. Sometimes I actually go raids, Cosmic Crucible, then Arena, if you ask me, depending on how I really feel for that month or for those couple weeks. Trust me, my Arena Shard would tell you, they're like, where's Goofy? I haven't seen him in a couple weeks, and then I just show up out of the blue again, because listen, I really do value Cosmic Crucible, because I think that there's a lot of really important resources that you can get from there that you're going to need for your G60s, G70s, right? So Infinity Watch is still one of your top Cosmic Crucible teams. And it's not a surprise. Like typically arena teams, they tend to last a little bit longer because arena teams are a lot more versatile when it comes as it pertains to teams, right? They're a lot more versatile when it comes to use them in a variety of game modes. So Infinity Watch, they're like one of my top 6 teams that I use for my Cosmic Crucible offense. I always keep them on offense because there's always a team that I can use them against no matter what the room is, for the most part, where I can get a good benefit of using this full team here. So maybe you don't want to build them if you haven't built them already, but they're still on this list for me if you care about Cosmic Crucible. Another team that I kind of put here as an honorable mention as well, that's kind of off of the top 10 list for me, is the Weapon X team. And I just don't really know why you would, what's the purpose of building this team if you haven't built them already, right? Or boosting this team if you haven't built them already. Like, I can understand boosting them if you've built them already. Like, I will probably be bringing up Wolverine, Samurai, Sabretooth at level 85 very soon, because I'm using them actively in Cosmic Crucible right now. I'm using them in Alliance War. Now they're the second best team in Alliance War offense. So I can definitely understand the reasoning for wanting to build them. But for me, if you haven't built them already, but I don't know, it's other than Omega Red, I just don't really see the value if you haven't built these 4 characters yet as to why you would build them. Omega Red, yes, he's a Haas. He's really good. But apart from that, I just can't really justify it. So that's the reason why they're on the honorable mentions list. Another honorable mention for me too is the Wakandan team. Now, I know this is more of a free-to-play friendly sort of suggestion here. Once again, looking at Cosmic Crucible, they are pretty good there. They're annoying on defense, but there's like hybrid teams that you can use and make with Shuri and Killmonger that can help you to win matchups offensively in Alliance War if you team them up with Secret Avenger characters and Shang-Chi. So therefore, they're on this list, but they're an honorable mention. They're not a recommended build per se, other than if you have the resources to spare, that you can go in that direction. So that's pretty much it for me, guys, as it pertains to the list. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I know I went through a lot of this stuff really quickly. This is usually a very long video, and I don't want to make it like 35 minutes long. So I sometimes do skip some details in regards to what I can talk with. I usually have my notes and I skip some details because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want this video to be 35 minutes long. So let me know, guys, if you have any specific questions about anything. Happy to help out where that is concerned. Leave it in the comments down below, guys. Always happy to jump back into. Also, jump into my Discord too. The link is down below in the description if you have a question that you want to ask me directly or ask in the server. There's a lot of really helpful people in the server as well that can help out there too. So listen, guys, that's it. Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. And until next time, guys, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe.